All right, Christine. Thank you very much. I appreciate you getting on. I know it was very short notice.
Of course. I'm happy to be here with all of you.
All right. So basically, I just like you to explain why you were looking for the lymphatic system, what was going on with your health, and then we'll go on from there.
So, as you mentioned just a little bit ago about COVID, that was my primary reason. Not that the lymphatic system had never been mentioned to me before, because I've been dealing with chronic pain for 7 years, where no one could really give me a concrete answer as to why I had chronic pain, no injury, no disease that they could put a name on. And after having a really bad time with COVID, I couldn't get the congestion to move through my lungs. And of course, they'd put me on a bunch of medications and nebulizers and all this stuff that I don't like to take. And it still wasn't clearing up. So I had a dear naturopath friend of mine. She said, "Well, you have to see the lymph man."
That's
And I
me.
said, "Who is this? Please tell me." And I think I had an appointment with you that same day, and I had my second one maybe 3 days later, and the lung congestion moved through. Like,
Amazing.
uh huh.
Amazing. Yeah, you had a lot of congestion, pain in that shoulder. Now, is that the same pain that you had long term too?
Um, no, that it's a little bit different. You know, what I mean, but I believe that my shoulder pain is now tied to the lung congestion because I did have wheezing prior to that, unexplained. I'd never been diagnosed with asthma, but the wheezing in my right lung coincided with when my pain started in my shoulder. So I believe they absolutely go hand in hand.
I agree. You know, if we're not flowing up here, then this can't flow and it backs up a little bit. Now, you had a few you're a very healthy person. I want to say that. You're a person who you took after it. When you got
I
sick,
did.
you had a lot of stress in your life. That also added to it, and you just really took control. So you're like most people who tell me, John, I do a lot of the things you do, you know. So I don't know if I need your program, right? I mean, I think we've talked about that, right?
Yeah, we did.
And so you started with remote sessions or the distance sessions. And what was your experience? You said after a couple of them you felt better, but what was your experience from having them? Were you more relaxed afterwards? Did you feel me working in you?
So, look, I mean, for people who've never had energy work, I think it can be a little difficult to explain. I've been doing energy work for many years, so it was nothing new to me. But I can tell you, I can absolutely feel what you're doing. Maybe not every time you say what you are doing, but I can absolutely feel it. Now, I know some people may be less sensitive to it. Like I can feel things that some people can't. But anybody that truly is an intuitive healer, as you are, can always do their work remotely. They don't have to have their hands on your body because energy is energy. It exists
Right,
everywhere.
right.
Like there's no separation, even if you're in a different state. So I absolutely feel more relaxed, even throughout it. Um, and then as you explained in the beginning, um, how to take the bath with the Epsom salt and the baking soda the next day, how not to do too many baths too many days in a row because you're detoxing, you don't want to overdo the body. So even then it's working if
You
you
feel it.
feel a little toxic the next day and then after that you feel better. But one thing I have to say that's really key is it's not just the work, right, John? It's all the other things you told me to do: the diet, the supplements, the breathing, just
And
needing to
and
sweat.
and even though I told you those things, right? I try to give my remote clients some information if they're not in the course. I don't give them everything, but I give them some information.
Sure.
Uh, but you just joined the course, right?
Good.
You decided to join it, And
Yeah.
I love all your posts because I love them. That's it. You're so excited that this is great. I felt that,
It is.
What do you think of the course?
I think the course is absolutely necessary. I know some people may be wondering, what am I going to get out of it? Well, more of an understanding about the lymphatic system, about how it works, but more importantly, to be able to watch you do the self lymphatic drainage is so important. It's really hard to explain that without watching it. And I think it's really important to empower yourself to learn how to do it yourself. Because, like you always say, John, I don't want to have to treat somebody forever. I want to give them the power. I want the power in your hands to learn how to heal yourself. And I think that's incredible.
And that's what I see over and over and over again. Some people may take a few weeks, some people get it right away, some people may take months, but they get it. And I see people who come into the course, they do it all, and then something happens in their life, and then they come back a few weeks later. So, they see the value in it. And I mean, we have people who are still with us for 11 months now, still in the course, showing up for these lives because they're interesting, and it's nice. It's like a Weight Watchers meeting, right? On Tuesday nights, we do the same thing we're doing here, but on Tuesday nights for the paid group. And I talk about the course, but I go over new stuff too, and they get to ask me questions, and that is really life changing to be able to have a mentor, someone who's been through it a
Yep.
few thousand times with
Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
All right, so you would suggest the people, if they're sitting on the fence, to maybe try a session, and
Oh,
or if they're
100%.
yeah, and if they were thinking about the course, if they're not sure, would they gain some info? And it's not an anatomy and physiology course. I want people to understand that. You can get that from the internet. I do teach you a little bit anatomy and physiology, but it's the physiology, but it's a course of how to maintain your lymphatic system. That's the
Absolutely.
most important thing. How to use your
Absolutely.
hands, diet, and supplements. All right, Christine, I appreciate you coming on. Hopefully
Oh, you're
people
so
get that
welcome.
this is a powerful system that we need to
Very.
really maintain. Any closing thoughts?
Oh, I just wish, healing for everybody out there. I mean, now is the time. If you're at home and maybe you're not working or you're working from home, I mean, now is the time to do something like this because
Especially after COVID. It really affected you, COVID. It really knocked
very
you
much.
out. And after a few sessions, we were able to open you up and get you going. So if you have
Yep.
COVID, you might want to try this. All right,
Thank
Christine,
you.
thank you very much. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. All right, everybody. Thank you, Christine. I bring people on because if I sat here and just told you, yeah, I could move lymph flow, and, again, I was a New York City firefighter and a contractor back then, I would have said you're nuts. But, we have to open our minds and our hearts to new things. There are thousands of people who do energy work, wonderful energy work. I just happen to do it specific, which is very different with the lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system has been my focus for 26 years now. And it's a part of me, and hopefully it'll become a part of your knowledge and change your life.